how's it going, audio nerds? My name's Totem. Just want to welcome you into my home studio here, give you a brief tour around, show you some of the acoustic absorption that we've built, as well as the recording booth outside for vocals and instruments, as well as give you a brief look under the hood and show you what kind of plugins that we're using for high-fidelity recording. So, let's go! All right, everybody, welcome to the recording booth. We're now isolated from the control room. This is a 4x4 modular setup. It can pretty much be installed in any 90-degree angle that has at least 6 foot 6 inches of clearance, ceiling clearance. And as you can tell, you know, the sound floor in here is incredibly low. As I'll show you in the VU meters when we go back in the control room here in a second, it's not reading anything. And to achieve that type of sound floor, that type of fidelity, I used to have to seek out studio environments that have done all their homework on acoustics and such. I've never had a sound floor like this in my home environment, my home studio environment. So to me, this is really exciting, coupled with quality microphones, coupled with quality preamps, and some plugins that we're using that are emulating different channel strips, different preamps. All those coupled together really bring a super high fidelity environment to my home here. So we can pretty much record anything other than a drum kit, which I've troubleshot that, as I'll show you inside as well. But you know, single instrument tracking seekers, acoustic artist, single tracking bands, those type things, we can take those type artists and put out high fidelity audio for them. So definitely get at me for that. As you can see, you know, we've done our homework as far as isolation, as far as acoustics. Again, I'll show you the acoustic treatment in the listening environment here in a second. But yeah, this recording environment we're really stoked about, and we've already been recording all sorts of instruments from guitar to ukulele to vocals to bass guitar in here with a lot of success. So yeah, looking forward to working with the community with this asset, and hit me up through email or through the regular outlets and we'll get you going. All right, everybody, so now that we've checked out the isolation booth, let's go back into the control room. I'll show you some other cool stuff. All right, so as you remember me saying that we can't record drum kits here, given the lack of mixers, given the lack of space, given the lack of mics. All those things are not necessarily something I'm interested in diving into as a recording engineer. However, this drum kit and its full sensitivity and the roll-in product line on electronic drum kits are just fantastic. Really, the feel of an analog kit is there. The chokeable crashes, the incredibly sensitive heads, the mesh heads, the dual assignable triggers of the rim and the face itself, the innumerable drum kits that it has, most of which are incredibly high quality when sent through a DAW, as well as MIDI and digital capability. It can send audio and MIDI values simultaneously, so you can be triggering values in your DAW as well as sending analog from the stereo outputs on this thing. So you can do all your sound design on your transients in your DAW and just send those transients to each of the heads and just custom assign them, make your own custom drums. And I've been doing recording alongside guitars, bass guitars, and stuff in DAWs. And I'll tell you right now, it translates. It translates as far as the realness, the stereo panorama, the tone, color, timbre, feel, delivery of a real kit in a mix. I would wager that after mixing's done, if you're if you're sending all your hits to individual tracks so that you can individually edit, EQ, compress, after all that mixing is done, I would wager that you cannot tell the difference. And furthermore, you have digital capabilities with this thing. So a lot of doors are opening up here in the studio. All right, we're back here in the control room, and I just want to give you a little peek into some of the plugins that we're using with the Apollo Twin here, which is the UA, the Universal Audio interface. I use this for live and for studio application, as you'll see right here. So there's some really potent tools that the UA has. So this console here is what I use to monitor while I'm recording. As you can see here in Ableton, my monitoring is off. This is just the audio, live audio that you're hearing right now. When I'm recording anything, I'm not monitoring through Ableton. I'm monitoring through my software, my UA software here. And this software is fully integrated with my console here. So if you can see my monitor levels here, I'm not sure if you can see that from the camera, but when I turn it up here in the software, it corresponds here on my hardware. So there's firmware that's fully integrated with the software here. Furthermore, this unison technology up here is powerful. So you can in real time switch from the UA preamps, which are superior preamps, they're really good, to digital algorithms that emulate preamps, vintage preamps. You can get SSL preamps, solid state logic. You can get Neve preamps. You can get all sorts of industry standard pre's to emulate with this software that's fully integrated with the hardware here. So again, with the camera, I'm not sure if you can see this. The gain staging is orange here on my Apollo hardware here. But when I turn this preamp algorithm off, it just goes back to a green gain stage, which is my native UA preamp gain here. So really, really potent thing for recording there to get different colors, textures with your preamp without going out and footing the bill of thousands of dollars. Furthermore, you have inserts, effects that you can use here. Again, digital algorithms, you might recognize some of these from Waves, but in this channel strip, I'm using a Pultec equalizer and a Teletronics LA2A emulator compression up here. You can get really extensive with your effects inserts in this, but the point to all of this is that the effects you're using here are pre-DAW. So you can affect your signal path before it hits your software here, before it hits your DAW, whether that's Ableton or Pro Tools. You have full editability in your preamps and in your effects before the signal hits your DAW. So, and furthermore, these algorithms for recording specifically are, in my opinion, far superior to a lot of the stuff you get in Ableton. So, which doesn't mean you don't use this stuff in Ableton, but you can use this stuff first to really, either normalize your signal or expand your signal, whatever it is you want to do before it hits your DAW here. And then, of course, you can use all your DAW native bundled plugins on your signal as well. So really potent zero latency software here that comes with the Apollo that that integrated with the low sound floor, integrated with the good mics, all make for a really, really fun recording environment. So yeah, get at me and let's put down some audio. Much love, you guys. Thanks for being with me today, and stay creative and uplift one another. We'll see y'all soon.